Welcome back to my absolute favorite series of roasting the internet's DIYs on Instagram and TikTok because as always, oh my god, people have absolutely no shame in sharing literal garbage online. And I purposely wore one of my favorite shirts that everyone else was like making fun of me for, which is really interesting because that just tells me you have no fashion sense. Be daring, people. Wear the cool shit. Kyle, I'm talking to you with your white polo and your Lululemon shorts with absolutely no style. Wear something that makes you feel different. That's the greatest thing about expression, except for these DIYs, because we're gonna dive right into them. Oh, I've never seen anyone use exterior doors for a shower door. I'd say I'm surprised, but honestly, I've seen some shit. Oh, yeah, there's the gap. Oh, the Schluter edge around everything is also not doing any. Oh my goodness. This is just a monstrosity. The glitter and gold metallic are not giving the luxury feel that they want it to. Seeing him standing in enclosure too, I'm like, there's a waterproofing level to that is on a whole other level. And this likely cost more than just getting the pane of glass. I would have extended that shower all the way across instead of cut it in half and putting the drying rack on the other one. Like that's the first note. Like, why do you want a tiny little shower? Watching it back again, that little gentleman just standing there motionless in the video too is also hilarious. The larger format tiles, if you're going to use those, use one that has a different pattern inlay on it instead of doing the same repeating pattern, because it just looks like a copy and paste and looks really cheap with that like bright gold Schluter strip all the way around. I'm going to have to give this a 1 out of 10. Points on the locking enclosure for the shower. Not that that's giving you any sense of privacy. I don't mind the blue tiles on the floor, but everything else, oh, it needs to be redone. I'm hoping we're going to have a better one for this.
This is one of the most insane bathroom designs. You have a huge jetted tub, dual entry shower, and one of the coolest things is there's a double-sided fish tank in here. So you can walk in, see your fish, come to this side with your oversized closet,
nice.
and they're sitting with that other
room. The biggest elephant in the room is the fish tank. Listen, I love a good fish tank. Obsessed with fish. And if I could have a big one, I definitely would. But having that single pane in a steam shower, oh my God, you're going to cook those fish, the poor things. Like, that's not going to be a regulated temperature and it's going to kill all of them so quickly. Also, that glass mosaic in the shower is not doing anyone any favors. That became so popular in the early 2000s and it literally should be left there. They got this on sale at Home Depot for 79 cents a square foot and they used it everywhere clearly. The wood along the jutted tub is also a little bit of a nightmare waiting to happen in terms of like bacteria growth from constantly being wet, especially with the jets. There's going to be bubbles and overflow there, which is a red flag to me. And something tells me about the bench and the chair on the other side that, I don't know, I don't really enjoy anyone watching me shower, but it's clearly a man's closet. They're gonna look in. Even the top comment is like, oh, I can't wait to watch my wife shower. Okay, creep. I do like the walk-in closet. I think that's beautiful. I would dream of having a closet that big, but like even having the fish tank from that side, I think is really beautiful. It's a great feature. If I were to improve this, I would enclose that entire shower in a full wet room and have the tub inside. You could still have the jetted tub if that was like a complete necessity, but I think that would also kind of expand that space so it feels more encompassing, especially with that giant skylight above. Like, make that part of the feature, include this all together and kind of separating those zones, especially in such a massive bathroom for what it looks like. The fish tank, I would have recessed that back further to have an actual architectural pane of glass that separates that temperature indifference it's going to have, because you're going to boil your fish alive if you have a steam shower in there for too long, because that temperature is going to skyrocket. And I feel so sorry for those fish. If you like steamed fish, I guess this is for you. I don't think those fish are edible though. The idea of this I think is really cool. Execution is very poor and literally a killer. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 10. Okay, crossing my fingers we got a good one.
The comments on my last video about these shelves were not enthusiastic. But listen, my wife designed the whole room. You guys have loved it so far, so we're gonna trust the process.
It's a real like custom craftsman feel. I love that it elevates your like standard floating shelf. The color palette is beautiful. I love that they use solid brass tubing for this to give it that like actual sense of luxury instead of just like cheap.
Last time you didn't love it, but like I said,
I love that he stained the floating shelf to match the vanity. Everything feels very proportionate, even down to the picture frame molding and the wainscoting all the way around. I love that ceiling detail with the molding. I think is really beautiful as well. I don't know who was making the comments about not being enthusiastic about these shelves. I think he did a really great job on this. The one thing that I probably would have improved is that curved detail that he did on the brass. I would have matched that same radius to the front of the shelf so it feels a little bit softer and it doesn't feel too sharp in the space, even though everything else is quite sharp in terms of the picture frame molding. I'm quite impressed. Usually, I gotta give credit where it's due. Most DIYs I'm a little hesitant towards, but I love that this little picture rail detail just kind of elevates those shelves and really adds to the craftsmanship style of this bathroom. I'm gonna say it again, I'm impressed. They put the wall anchors in there as well. I'm gonna have to give this a 9 out of 10. I'm gonna have to check out his other videos.
And I'd like to thank Quince for sponsoring today's video. As an interior designer, there's a lot of details that go into designing a bedroom. Bed sheets are one of those things that a lot of people get wrong. What's great about Quince is that they are actually 100% of the natural materials that they are using. Personally, I run very, very hot when I sleep, and the bamboo sheet set is exactly what you should be looking for if you run hot. What's great about the natural bamboo is that it's extremely breathable. It also has a little bit of slip to it, which makes it feel a lot more luxurious than your standard cotton, which can sometimes feel a little scratchy. When you are looking for a duvet cover like this one, make sure you upsize the actual duvet itself. So we have a queen size bed and I've gone with a king because if you share a bed with anyone, you know that you are going to be hogging part of the blanket some of the nights and they are the other nights. So what's great about a king is that you have great overflow on each side because you get that water flow on both and on the front. And if you click the link in the description box below or scan the QR code on the screen, you can get your own set of Quince sheets yourself. They offer free shipping and 365-day returns.
Flop that over.
Oh, I've seen these before. This is a really clever way of saving space in the design, and it's a great accent for someone who is vertically challenged. Not me. Great in custom kitchens if you have really tall ceilings. It's a really great hardware to have for a vanity in like a kid's bathroom too. But there's a few things that in my opinion like doesn't work on it. This is a fixed step stool shelf that comes out of a single gable. The problem with this is that the operating heights are specific to right in front of you. You can't mobilize this to move it down the kitchen. You may have to have multiple of these for it to actually feel functional instead of just a specific area. That being said, if you only want kids going up into a certain cabinet, that's the one that it can access with. A great way to like improve or elevate this, it kind of like the next step of the design, is I've designed this for a few vanities in children's rooms before, is that the toe kick actually pulls out as a shelf and you can have a step stool right in there. This would be the next way of elevating this design that allows more versatility for accessing everything in those higher cabinets instead of just one single area, especially if it's fixed. You know what? I'm pretty neutral on this. I'm gonna give this an 8 out of 10. Great design, but there's definitely ways it can improve. Oh, the splashing water should not be the first concern of this vanity that looks like it's a hack job. This is why I hate angled taps. I have always preferred faucets have a gooseneck that have a strict 90-degree water coming down instead of that 45-degree angle, because this is exactly why it doesn't work well. The water splashes out everywhere. Trust me, I love an integrated sink. But now that I've rewatched this again, oh Lord, every seam is visible. This was done out of a porcelain tile. You can see the chips. The fabrication of this is really done poorly, and it looks like the seams aren't even sealed or grouted. There's chipped off areas. Like if you're going to do an integrated sink, it can be a beautiful feature, but you need to pay the premium price that comes with it. Otherwise it ends up looking like this. This looks like a really bad janky DIY that, it could have been done really well. The ways to improve this: 1, get a faucet with a gooseneck. It's going to prevent the water from splashing. And 2, the dramatic angle of this sink is too large. The lower profile doesn't have enough depth for the water to be contained in this area. So even if they drop down that angle and then continued it from that edge, it would help isolate the water and the splash zone a little bit more. Like the vanity, on the other hand, it needs to be completely redone. Tile is chipping and it's falling apart. This is gonna have to be a 0 10. There's no saving it. It literally needs to be done from scratch. Oh, it's a slider? I think this is fabulous. It really depends on like where you're living. Like in high rises, I think this is great because you can also clean the exterior for when it collapses in. I cannot tell you how many times I have wanted to clean the exterior windows in my condo. Trust me, I had one of those elongated squeegees leading off the side of my balcony. I hope no one saw me because that's just like a trap waiting to happen. This hardware looks super smooth. It gives a lot of versatility for a window design, and the fact that she like slammed it closed operates really nicely, and I'm impressed with how smoothly it closed. Like I would love to see this window in a collapsible sliding style that you can open from the entire bank of windows. So not just a single pane, I would want all of them to collapse so you can actually clean the other ones as well. That being said, probably not to code in condos because once you hit a certain threshold of height, you need to have everything higher up, and you can't have operable windows for children under a certain height, and they need to be tempered glass, which makes them even more expensive as well. Honestly, I'm gonna have to give this, I think, an 8.5 out of 10. I would have loved to see like a built-in screen to prevent bugs or birds being able to fly in, but honestly, no additional notes on this. Like, I don't know where you guys find these offenders and when you send them to me, because 2 of them were sent to my email from fans, and please continue to do this. I love getting a notification of a DM with these either tragically disaster DIYs or these good ones. There's some things you just don't do by yourself. Hire a professional, people. It is always worth it. Buy it nice or pay twice. That has always been my motto when it comes to home improvements. If you like this video and I made you laugh, I definitely deserve a like, at least subscription. So come on, people. You can also follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Mr. Phoenix Gray for all my daily tips and tricks. And trust me, I'm pretty funny there too, so you gotta check it out. And if you're ever second guessing yourself, just ask, what would Design Daddy do?